The Precambrian, as explored in the
Villuercas-Ibores-Jara.
Geopark, opens a fascinating window into the early chapters of life on Earth, which took place more than 500 million years ago. During this period, when the Earth was primarily covered by shallow oceans and there was no life on land, some of the oldest known organisms began to emerge, initiating a process that would forever transform the history of life on our planet. Among the inhabitants of these Precambrian seas were stromatolites, structures built by Cyanobacteria, single-celled microorganisms that performed photosynthesis and released oxygen as a byproduct. This process was essential for the accumulation of oxygen in the oceans and atmosphere, establishing the necessary conditions for the development of more complex life forms. Stromatolites, which can still be observed as fossils in some rock outcrops in the Geopark, are witnesses to this crucial milestone in the evolution of life. In addition to stromatolites, other microorganisms, such as algae and bacteria, thrived in these primitive seas, dominating an ecosystem free of predators. Over time, primitive multicellular organisms began to appear, including the first soft-bodied animals, ancestors of jellyfish and other invertebrates. Although these organisms did not leave detailed fossils due to the fragility of their bodies, traces of their existence remain embedded in marine sediments, which the Geopark preserves as a testament to that ancient world. Among these more complex organisms is Cloudina carinata, one of the earliest animals to develop a skeletal structure. This small tubular organism, which lived anchored to the seabed, formed a segmented calcium carbonate tube that provided some protection and allowed it to compete for space on the ocean floor. The appearance of structures like that of Cloudina marks a milestone in evolutionary history, representing one of the first adaptations for protection in an increasingly competitive environment. Fossils of Cloudina, found in various regions worldwide, are also present in the Villuercas Geopark, bearing witness to this early adaptation that laid the groundwork for the evolution of organisms with shells and more complex skeletons. Exploring the explosion of life in the Precambrian at the
Villuercas-Ibores-Jara.
Geopark is a journey into a time when life forms were simple but revolutionary. These creatures, although tiny and fragile, initiated an evolutionary process that, millions of years later, would lead to the extraordinary biodiversity we know today. The Precambrian, as shown by the Geopark, represents the beginning of an epic story in the evolution of life on Earth.